Hello everybody. So in today's video we're going to make some cabbage rolls. We're going to make some for dinner and some for the freezer. So we're going to make a few extra. So I'm got a pot of boiling water here, and I cut the bottom bottom quarter of the cabbage off, and we're going to put it in the pot of hot water to try and loosen the layers of cabbage so we can roll the mixture in the cabbage. I also started my rice cooker with rice so we can make the filling. So we're just going to get right into it today. So all I'm doing is submerging the cabbage in the hot water here to try and loosen some of the leaves, and then we're going to just pry some of the leaves off. So I took the cabbage out, and I'm just slowly going to peel as many of the layers that will come off, and then we'll put it back in and try and peel some more. I did buy a couple cabbages just because the previous times I've made cabbage rolls, I know that the leaves like to break or they're not the right shape for rolling. So I did buy two just to make sure. I should have grown green cabbage this year. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. Lesson learned, next time I will. So I am literally just going to lightly pry the softened cabbage leaves and then putting it back in to soften them some more. So in this frying pan here, we're going to start with the hamburger and spice mixture, some peppers and some onions that we mix with the rice that is cooking currently. So I'm going to do that now. It is a bit tricky getting this in and out of the pot without burning myself, without getting it everywhere, but it's working. This is how my grandmother taught me to do this. I've also seen a few other people make cabbage rolls this way as well. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Okay, so this pan here is heating up. Of ground beef here, I'm going to put into the pan. We're going to brown it up for the inside mixture of the cabbage rolls. I love this thing. It breaks up the meat really well. Okay, I'm going to add one of my pucks of garlic here. Actually, probably two, because this is going to make quite a bit of mixture. Just so they nice and melt. Actually, let's do three. Make it nice and flavorful. I'm multitasking here. I do this a lot when I cook. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, whatever needs to be done at the moment. If you're wondering, my hair is a little curled today. I just finished taking new profile pictures for my YouTube channel. Under my son's suggestion, he figured I should actually have a picture of myself on there. Okay, so I'm just going to let this simmer for a minute, and then we're going to continue taking the leaves off of these. Whew, these are so hot. Okay, these on the inside here are really, really curled. So I think I'm going to save the rest of this for something else, and I'm going to use a new head of cabbage to put in here. Okay, I just chopped off the end. That's so I can peel the leaves off nicely. Try to get that in there without burning myself. Okay, I'm going to move this elsewhere. So good. I haven't made cabbage rolls in a few years, so my fiance is a little excited. So when I do projects like this that do take me a long time, like homemade pierogies, pasta, well, pasta I do like to do fresh, but stuff like this, I tend to do a lot of them at once, just because I know it's a lot of work and it's not something I'm going to do all the time. So it's nice to have some for the freezer for a different day. Ooh, just about burnt myself. Okay. Break up those pieces of garlic into the mixture. Those are the garlic pucks that we made together in one of the other videos. Okay, so let's add some onion and some diced peppers that I had from the freezer into the mixture here, just so they have time to cook down too. That, and I want to get these back in the freezer so they don't stick together. I have them froze separately really nicely so far, so don't want to add too much peppers to this. I need to mix that. Okay, we're going to let that simmer and try to take these out. When it's really big like this, it's really hard to get out. Probably going to break my tool here. Dump the water off the plate. Move it around a bit so it gets more of the leaves. I like to multitask. I get more done. But sometimes projects need your full attention. Okay, let's add some salt. I think I'm going to add some spinach to this. I know spinach isn't traditionally in cabbage rolls, but I think it'll give a little bit extra health factor to this dish and some flavor, I think. So I have this seasoning called Garlic Plus. I love it. Works great. I'm going to put some of that in here. I think I'm going to chop up some fresh basil and put that in here too. I'm going to go get the spinach. Okay, my dehydrated spinach. I'm getting there. It's almost full. I literally just break it up like this. We don't want too much of this because we don't want it to overpower the dish, but I think it'll be fine. A little bit more. Okay, we're going to let that rehydrate in the mixture. I'm just going to go put this away. Let's mix that up. Okay, I'm just going to pick some basil off my plant here. I'm not going to bother chopping this because there is spinach in here already too. I'm just going to rip it up. This is the basil I just picked off the windowsill. Okay, we'll just let all that simmer, and we'll take some more of the leaves off of these. I don't want to leave it in there too long. Ooh, that's hot. And again. Okay, so I shut the ground beef mixture off. It's cooked enough, I think, because it's also going to be cooking in the oven when we bake these. So I'm just going to finish taking all the leaves off. Sorry if you can hear the weed whacker. My neighbor is weed whacking his yard. So I'm going to finish taking the leaves off the cabbage here. And as soon as I'm done that, we will start assembling everything. Okay, so let's take our mixture here. So I have some rice. This is really hot, so I need to try and pour this into the bowl here from my rice cooker. See if I can get it out. I might have to scoop it out. Let me get a scoop. Okay. I'm just putting it in the bowl so I can mix everything together for the filling. I'm getting this everywhere. Let's see if I can dump this now. Just kind of loosen it up around the edges here. I made about 2.5 to 3 cups of rice to be able to make enough of the cabbage rolls here so I could have extra. My neighbor is still cutting down trees. I thought it was weed whacking, but he's not. He's cutting down trees. Okay, so I'm just going to take the ground beef mixture. I'm going to put it right in. All the juices, everything. I want the flavor. This was lean ground beef to begin with. I only use lean ground beef. Okay, move my mat here. So now I'm just going to mix it all together. All the spices. I might need to add a little bit more salt and pepper. Rice is fairly bland. I did put a lot of garlic in this for flavor. This looks really good. I'm going to let this mixture cool a little bit as well because I need to add an egg in here. 1 or 2. 1 or 2 eggs. So let's stick a little bit more pepper. I have my fan on. It's a gloomy day, but it's muggy. Very humid. Okay, so this is what the mixture looks like. So I have, you know about the plans that I have to make my own tomato sauce this year. So I have some random jars and cans of tomato sauce that I need to use up. So to start, Prego is my favorite. No, it's not sponsored. Let's try and get... So I'm just going to put some on the bottom of the pan. This one is for dinner. And these other ones here are going to be for the freezer. Okay, so how I roll these. So, oh, I need to add the egg. I almost forgot. Let's add the egg. I'm going to wait a couple minutes and let this cool first. So once it's cool enough, I'll come back when I add the egg. So I think it's cool enough. So let's continue. I think my neighbor might be done cutting his trees. Hopefully. So I am just going to mix this egg in. This is meant to help the rice mixture bind together a bit when it's inside the cabbage roll. I did embellish this recipe a little bit. I added peppers and some other stuff to it that wasn't in the recipe, and the recipe called for lemon zest, which I did not want to put in this. Okay, so let's start. He's not done. So all I'm doing is just putting a generous scoop, really generous scoop of rice. I'm going to try and fold the ends in here. We'll see if I can do this nicely. And we're going to just roll it like this. Bring the plate over. And put them in like that. Hopefully as I go they'll be a little tighter than that, but let's try this one. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. If you don't want this big thick piece of the cabbage, you don't have to. You can take that off. See, that's a little better, so it's more rolled in. This is going to make a lot of cabbage rolls. Hopefully I have enough cabbage. If I don't, I'll use this in a casserole of some kind. Let me go shut my patio door. It might not be so loud. Hopefully that'll be a little bit quieter. My fiance was super excited about this dinner, just because I haven't made it in so long. And he's like, "You're going to make lots, right? So I can have some for lunch tomorrow." At work. That's really cute. Let's use this big one here. So I'm going to make cabbage rolls until I run out of either cabbage or filling. Hopefully I don't run out of either and there's just a right perfect amount, but that usually doesn't happen. It's usually a little too much of one over the other. The other quarter parts of the cabbage that we didn't use for the leaves, I'm going to cut them up and freeze them so I can use them for soup. So they will not go to waste. Like I said, I didn't actually grow any green cabbage this year, which I should have. I don't know why I didn't. I think probably space, if I had to guess why I chose not to. That's most likely the reason. I need a much bigger garden. I have big goals for gardening, so I'm going to try and fit one right there. Let's try a little one. the mixture, I tasted it to make sure the seasoning was good, off camera, sorry. It's actually quite good. So nice and flavorful. Rice can tend to be a little bland, so I like to make sure there's lots of seasoning. There we go. First batch is done. I'll wipe my hands here. Okay, so then all I do next is I pour a generous amount of tomato sauce on top. There we go. And that's dinner. So now we're just going to fill some of our freezer meal pans here. I'll start with one, just because I know the filling, we'll see if we have enough to fill two. I don't want to dirty both pans, just in case I don't need them. I want to try and use up the rest of my canned and jarred tomato sauce that I use, just because I know I'm going to have quite a bit of my own. Okay. My goal is to make quite a bit, so we'll see. Hopefully that's what happens. My tomatoes are starting to ripen. So excited. I've already picked a few. I might end up having to put them in the freezer for the sauce when we do them, just because I don't want them to go bad while the other ones are still ripening. I would prefer it to be fresh, but gotta do what you gotta do. Excuse me. Trying my best to roll them really tight. Some it's working well and some it's not. I like to do this often, where I'll make a lot of one thing and then I can make 1 or 2 freezer meals on the side. I do that a lot. Highly recommended if you don't have a lot of time, because you're cooking the one dish anyways. It's easy to make more. Make double. Then you don't have to spend a day making all freezer meals. But I do tend to do that, making freezer meal, a lot of them all in one day. It is convenient. But with something that's a little more time consuming like this, I do like to do it, a lot of them all at once. My hands are a little sticky from the rice, so I keep wiping them. Okay, let's get some of these bigger ones over here. I thought I was being smart by pushing it down a little bit more, but I think it's going to squish out the end. There we go. So I am going to finish filling these off camera here, just so you don't have to sit here and watch me do all of them. And then I will show you how many pans or how much it made altogether. Okay, so I had the one we made for dinner, plus one extra one here for the freezer, like that. But there is not enough for another full pan, so I pulled out this little container that I have for the freezer. I like to use these for like side dishes and stuff like that I make ahead of time. See, it's got its own little snap lid. So what we're going to do, because we only have this much mixture left, that's not enough to fill this whole pan. So I had an idea of maybe making a deconstructed cabbage roll casserole, little one, that I can use as like a side dish one day. So I'm going to take the leftover cabbage. I put some tomato sauce on the bottom here. I think this is going to be delicious and going to work well. It would be a good side dish for a meal one day. And I'm just going to rip up some of this cabbage. Put it on the bottom here. I think this make a really good idea for like freezer meal one day. That's awesome. I didn't even know why I don't think of that before. Okay, and then I'm just going to dump all the rice mixture on it. What's left of it here. Make sure I get it all. Okay, I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. I think this is going to be delicious as a side meal. And then I'm going to take some more cabbage and put it on top. I'm trying to use the softer parts of the cabbage, not the centerpiece here. I think this was a really good idea to use the rest of the mixture here. Okay, I think that's good. And then I'm just going to put some more tomato sauce on top. And then when the time comes, I'll pull it out of the freezer, thaw it, and just go and put it right in the oven. Here we go. Awesome. There's the finished product. So we got a side dish for a deconstructed cabbage roll and 2 full pans of cabbage rolls. Close up look. Look how delicious that looks. Show you from the side. Looks really good. This is the one for the freezer. And this one too. So guys, thank you so much for watching today. I really love doing this, and I love making videos for you guys, and I love cooking, and I thank you very much for watching my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.